Gonna be
Yeah.
I would assume that one leaving lights on.
On?
So we can see you.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather see?
I say we can bring him down a touch. There is not much to this this back there. Yes, this is. I am no Photoshop.
See, that's why we don't park lights on.
Perfect. Love it. Yeah, great.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn these little cans off.
Okay. Oh, great.
And we'll just have the soft light button.
Okay. Cool. You're allowed to everybody hear me? Check. Yeah. Cushies, let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can still see it. Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. You guys got in. Good to see you. All right. Great. There are no strawberries, and there are no. I don't know what grenadine you're using. But there shouldn't be strawberries in anything today. Yeah, this is just lime sugar. Very simple. Yeah, easy. No problem at all.
Yes.
Check. Hey, I think it's time to start. What do you think? How many of you guys got to go over and see Charles Phoenix this morning? Yeah, raise your hands. Boy, you're awfully early, folks. All right. That feedback is bugging me, so if it zaps you, I'm sorry. I'll go fix it in a minute. But welcome to Punch, the 1,000 Cocktail Trick.
Yay!
Of course, it's presented by Scott, Dr. Cushman, right there. And it is co-sponsored by Citadel Gin and Dos Madeiras Aged Rum. And just sort of as the silent partner, Kaloa rum is also in the mix there. That's going to be in your third drink, by the way, just in case you want to. All right, so we have all been here all weekend, yes? Yes. Do we all remember our house rules? Okay, what's house rule number 1? Silence our what? Cell phones, exactly. If you have to take a call, where do you go? Outside. If you want to talk to your neighbor, where do you go?
Outside.
If you have to go to the bathroom, where do you go? No, it's the last show, so you can go in your seat. Also, California liquor laws tell us that we can't take any free drinks from one room to another. If you pay for it for some reason, you can do it, but if you don't, if you get it free in this room, it's got to stay here. So finish it, throw it in the trash cans on the way out, so we can flip the room as quickly as possible. All
Take
right?
your glasses, take your glasses though.
Exactly.
Those are
Take
yours.
glasses, especially if they have Scott's name on it. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. All right. Okay, so the real announcement. Here we go. After leaving his job of 17 years as head of beverage for a Los Angeles-based bar company, Cush opened Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks online talk show, where he invites the world into his bar to listen to stories, drink his drinks virtually, and to ask questions about the wide world of bartending. He's won several bartending awards and has taught mixology for more than 10 years. He also co-hosts Mixed Cocktail Hour on the Hungry Channel. Please welcome our host, Scott, Dr. Cush.
Thank you, my goodness. All right, normally the presenters are kind of up here. I'm gonna pace, so hopefully everybody can sort of see me because I have been nervous all week about this. So we're in a good spot now. But yeah, thank you very much to Citadel. Thank you very much to those Dares, and of course, thank you to Koloa. My name is Scott Cushman, but all my friends just call me Cush. Can you guys just say hi, Cush? Hi. Thank you. We are all now friends, and we can all hang out in the bar today. That is what I'm looking for. A little bit about me, just before we jump into this, what I am and what I do. I have been a bartender for now 20-something years. I don't look that old, I don't think, but maybe if I feel that old, my bones hurt a little bit. I have been doing that for a long time, and I started off in bartending at basically in Los Angeles, basically when the mustachioed people with their suspenders would absolutely roll their eyes at you if you ordered a vodka cranberry. I was one of those, and I apologize. I have been to bars where they have done that to me, and now I feel horrible about it. So I have spent the last many years teaching mixology to people, not about finding this is the only way we can do something, right? What I want is the philosophy that as long as you have a drink, it's a good drink. It's always better to have a drink than not have a drink. And so, as I went, I did not start off in Tiki. In fact, I have never, ever worked in a Tiki bar. We tried to turn one of our bars Tiki once by just putting pineapple and everything. That does not count, I don't think. It went back from Tiki immediately. But I did fall in love with it after I had gone through the entire journey of all of the other types of sort of bartending. And what I found in that is really, in the end, people are shocked sometimes that I can rattle off 100 different recipes or I know 100 different drinks. But in the end, there are only 7 drinks. That's it. There are 7 drinks, and everything else we say in bartending as we twirl our little mustaches, we say it's a play on this. It's a play on. You've heard them. People have heard them. This is a play on a Negroni. This is a play on a martini. This is a play. This is a play. There are only 7. There is the old fashioned. That's with bitters and sugar. There we go, big old-fashioned fan. there is the martini, which is vermouth. We add a little vermouth. Martini, gin. Well, it's anything basically. So that also includes things like the Manhattan. Whenever you're adding vermouth to something, fortified wine, you're getting in there. There's the sour, that's things like the daiquiri. There is the daisy, that's things like the margarita, and the most famous Tiki drink in the world, of course, the Mai Tai is also in the daisy category. We have fizzes, that's where we're adding soda water to something. We have flips, that's where we're adding eggs and milk and stuff. That's sort of the lesser known one. So those are the 6. There's one that predates them all, and it actually includes just about everything. Not often egg, but sometimes milk. And that is the punch. And that is what we're here to talk about today. And it is like all the other ones, it has a formula. And the formula is very, very simple. And by the end of today, what I want you guys to know is that you can go into a Tiki bar, you read those long menus, and there's 1,000 ingredients. You're like, I could never rebuild this at home. You absolutely can if you follow the punch recipe. Now, this is my very first conference ever. So I did not. So now I did not make a slideshow. I did not know I needed to make a slideshow. Nobody told me I needed to make a slideshow. So last night, instead of going to the burlesque show, I learned. I know. You're welcome, everybody. I went home and I learned, or I went to my room and I learned all about how to make slides. So we do have a slideshow. Anyway, so this is, for the most part, this is going to be behind me. This is my bar from home. So after I had learned all about all of my things, all of the bartending stuff, I was the head of beverage for a large bartending company. COVID hit. Just like every other bartender, or every other head of beverage usually, they would say, listen, we'd love to have you back. Oh, Cush, we'd love to have you back. Come on back. You can't be head of beverage anymore. We need a bartender or a bar back. And I said, I think I'm done. I feel like 40 is old to be bartending. So I went home and I built this little bar. This is Dr. Cush Exotic Drinks. These right here, these people right here, these are all of the Cushies. They watch me. We go live. We go live 3 nights a week. We also have these guys. Anyway, what we're trying to do is, I'm just trying to teach everybody. So they will probably know a lot of the answers. We have some goodies to give away as we go. But let's get into the punch. So there is a very famous rhyme that will help you out with the punch. And it goes like this. A wine glass with lemon juice fill, of sugar the same glass fill twice. Rub them together until the mixture looks smooth, soft, and nice. Of rum, then 3 wine glasses add, and 4 of cold water. Please take a drink you'll have that's not bad. At least so they say in Jamaica. There's a much easier way to do that, and that is 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of sweet, and a little spice to make it all nice. That is what we are looking for. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice to make it all nice. This, my friends, is the punch. This is how we're going to be building all of our punches today, and I'm going to tell you sort of the story about how the punch even got involved in Tiki and why it is such a big thing. So we have things to give away. Can anybody tell me, you guys have been to a bunch of these things, let's give away, can we give away a bag for this one? Can anybody tell me the real name of Dawn Beach? I see this hand back there. Yeah, right there. Ernest Gant, there we go. This is my lovely wife and producer and my band of wife today. She's going to go ahead and give this bag out right there. Perfect. It is Ernest. It's our good friend Ernie. We call him at the bar Ernie. Ernie was going to go to college, decided not to go to college, decided to take all of his college money and jump on a boat and travel around the world a couple times, going from port to port, finding a number of things. Obviously, you guys have taken other history classes about Tiki. I'm not going to get too deep into the specifics of it, but eventually he ended up in the West Indies at some point, and they were making an amazing cocktail that you guys just had, which is called the Planter's Punch. This is the recipe for the Planter's Punch. 1 of sour, 1 ounce of lime juice, 2 of sweet, 2 ounces of Demerara simple syrup, 3 of strong, that is going to be 3 full ounces of your Dos Madeiras rum, 4 of weak, that is going to be water. We've added some water to this and a little bit of ice, and then a little spice to make it all nice. That is the Angostura bitters. Dawn absolutely would have come across this drink. No doubt he would have loved this drink, and he would have carried that with him for an awful long time. Is this the second drink already? We are ready to go. Okay, we are going fast. All right, we're gonna pass. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate this. I'm actually kind of doing something. Kyle, do you want this? This. The point of this whole thing was to confuse 98% of you and make their day. There you go. You can just take it. Kyle is my bar back. I found Kyle one day while I was walking. He was walking dogs. He wanted a job in bars, and we got him one. Just real quick, Kyle, can you give us Kyle has a rating system for all of my drinks. He wears a glove. This is a glove, this is a delight, and this is a hate. So Kyle, if you want to just give us a glove, delight, hate? That's a glove, everybody. The entire point of that was to confuse everybody. That's really what we wanted to do. So with this formula, we can absolutely start to break apart a ton of drinks. So we would have found the Planter's Punch at some point, but what we're handing out to you now is even more special. This is an incredibly fun drink with an amazing sort of storied, weird past. This is the Singapore Sling. Anybody have a Singapore Sling before? Yeah. So the Singapore Sling is, at this point, a category. It's a category of drinks. It isn't a single drink. Every single person that I've ever met makes a very different Singapore Sling, and this is the one. Let's put this back here. This is the one that we're using today. This is by a guy named Jim Meehan. Anybody know Jim Meehan? He isn't a Tiki guy. Anybody know Jim Meehan just from normal bartending? He runs a bar called the PDT in New York. If you're ever in New York, it's a great, so you have to go through a place called Cref Dogs. It's a hot dog stand. You have to pick up a phone, call them, they'll let you in. It's a whole situation. This is Jim Meehan's. But the reason we picked Jim Meehan's is because it knocks down the recipe exactly. It knocks down exactly. Now, Don would have, we'll get to the recipe in a second, but Don would have found this drink because this was one of the most popular drinks out in Singapore. How the heck did this drink made of gin get out to Singapore? Well, we have this punch. This punch is sort of going big. The punch has been around since the 1630s, right around there. Everybody loves a punch. The English do the punch absolutely the best. They are the sailors. They're the ones that are making the punch. Eventually, though, the punch makes it to the United States, and the United States, being the ingenious people that we are, the ingenuitives, we created something called the ice machine. We created an ice machine. There used to be, in punches, you would take one large block of ice, you drop the one large block of ice into the punch, and that would be what would cool this thing. The United States said, we are individualistic, we are rugged, we're going to create ice machines, and we are going to sink these punches down into different bits, into smaller things that we call slings. Slings is basically a smaller version of the punch. Now, sling has gone through a number of different bits. It used to just be sugar and water added to an individual drink, but eventually the English got a hold of it, knew what they did with punch, and they expanded it. And what do the English love more than anything? They love two things. They love gin. And they love colonizing shit. I mean, they're like, ooh, new place, we're gonna, are those new people we've never seen before? Radio, mate, get on the boats, we're heading out. They ended up heading out to places like Singapore, and they brought their mystery drink with these slings. They brought all these slings out there. The stories, anybody know the story of the Singapore Sling? Anybody know like the guy that created it or who we think created it? What's that? Yes, so from Raffles, absolutely, yes. So there's a guy named Tiang Boon, and he was said to have created this thing in 1915. Couple issues with that. We see much earlier that the Singapore Sling and the Straight Sling is being written about. Also, he died in 1915 in China. The same year that this thing was supposed to be born. Some people, David Wonderich is pretty sure this definitely didn't happen. Our good friend Simon Difford, Simon Diff, he thinks maybe, but everybody's sort of up in the air about it. It doesn't matter. What it was for is for the ladies at the bar that weren't allowed to drink. It was to give them something that looked a lot like fruit juice, and thus they could sit at the bar and drink. Now, this is a great recipe, and if we go back up to to this guy, let's walk through this. So, 1 of sour in this drink. Very simple. We have half an ounce of lime juice. 2 of sweet. This is where this formula starts to really get interesting. We actually have 3 different sweeteners going into this one. We have something called Dominus Benedictine. Don Benedictine. Anybody know Benedictine? Benedictine, an amazing story. It was created by these monks right? The monks were sort of hanging out, and then what happened? The stupid French Revolution happened. The monks really were not very popular amongst the common folk. Murdered the monks, just absolutely decimated them, which almost killed the Benedictine until many years later, on the back of a piece of art, some guy was reframing his piece of art, found the recipe to Dom Benedictine. Is that a real story? No, I have no idea. I mean, probably not. The problem with a lot of these alcohol stories is we were all drinking at the time, and there's a lot of zhuzh, we put a lot of English on that ball. So anyway, a little bit of Benedictine, to describe what Benedictine is, it tastes exactly like Benedictine. That's the only way you can put it. There is something called cherry hearing in this. Cherry hearing, of course, a cherry flavored liqueur. They have cherry hearing, which tastes just like cherry. They have coffee hearing, tastes just like coffee. And then somehow they have Peter hearing, which I don't know who that tastes like. It must taste like somebody. But it's the cherry hearing we put in there. There's a little bit of grenadine. So it's half an ounce of Benedictine. It is a quarter ounce of the sweet, and it is a quarter ounce of the grenadine and a quarter ounce of the cherry hearing, which gives us 2 of sweets. That's exactly right. That's how we build it, right? 3 is strong. Well, we have, usually we don't find a ton of tiki drinks that have gin in them, but this one certainly does. We're going to be putting in 3 ounces of gin. That's how this works. Now, in this one, we don't have 3 ounces. But if you they wouldn't let me. I tried, begged for you guys. I was like, oh, these people are waking up early to come to a 12 o'clock situation. They need the gin. This drink can handle up to 3 ounces of gin, absolutely, because the next ingredient is our wheat. In the last one, we did water. In this one, we are going to be putting in pineapple juice. Pineapple juice ends up being our weak in this one. And that, when Don was traveling around, he must have popped into this bar, tasted this drink, and had his little mind popped right open. Because now think of the possibilities. All of these great, amazing flavors that we can throw in there if we just follow this little recipe. Now, this little spice gets a little strange every time. Spice is tough. We have a spice infuser here we're going to be doing in a second, but for this one, spice is one of the most tropical ingredients that you can get. Even though it is a mainstay in things like the Old Fashioned and the Manhattan, it's Angostura bitters. Angostura bitters is about as tropical. It's from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. It is very, very tiki. It is very tropical. It's if you take a big shot of it, you're basically transported. You're also going to throw up. That stuff is really tough too. It's tough to stomach in a shot. But, so we're just going to be putting a few dashes of that just to give us a little bit of that spice to make this whole freaking thing nice. So Don now has his eyes wide open. Well, Don, as he's traveling, I've traveled. I played the ukulele on the street for many years in Spain. That's a very real story. He finds his way, like a lot of us artists did, in Los Angeles. We know the story. He ends up in Los Angeles. He gets caught bootlegging. So unfortunately for Don, pobrecito, not allowed now to open up a bar. So he opens up a bar in his wife's name. We all know that as Don the Beachcomber. Of course, does anybody know Don's first wife's name? Go put their hand up. We got prizes. Oh, I got you right there. Sonny, there we go. Let's give are you a home bartender, sir?
Yeah.
Like, do you have equipment? Sure. Okay, perfect. We'll pass out some equipment. Yeah. One of the boxes. Yeah, perfect. This is just a home bartending kit to get you started. This is sort of everything you'll need. But yeah, the dude in the green hat. So basically, we're giving those out because I want you guys immediately to go home and put all bars out of business. I want you guys at home. I want you at home making your own drinks. As a person who has been scorned and shunned by bars before, I am looking to put bars out of business. Just kidding. I'm just joking. Oh my goodness. Imagine. No, love bars, but sir, enjoy that. So Sonny, of course, Sonny has this whole thing. Well, now he's been bootlegging. He's got all this extra rum. What the heck am I going to do? Don must have said to himself. He must have been in a moment of contemplation, a starry, starry night. He put on his little pith helmet, sat here like this, and thought, what? Oh, God, what am I going to do? And then he thought back on those lovely drinks, those easy to remember, easy drinks, and he started whipping up cocktails. Now, he did not call it Tiki. He called it, let's just get out another one. What did Don call his first drink, sir?
Rum Rhapsody.
Rum Rhapsody. There we go. Actually, let's do a Tiki mug.
Yeah.
There we go. Technically a coffee mug, but it's got my face on it. That does kind of make it Tiki. So, I'm not made of millions. I remember I lost my job as a bartender. So he's sitting around, he's thinking, what exactly can we do? Well, he remembers all of these great cocktails that he had before, and he starts to dissect them, starts to figure it out. And this is where this rhyme, this one comes right back in. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, a little spice to make it all nice. This is basically most of his menu. If you break it down, so all summer on my show, all summer on my show, we have been doing the Summer of Punch. We have either punchified things or punched them up, taken old cocktails that maybe weren't the greatest cocktails of all time, and put them through this ringer. And we have improved, would we say we improved the cocktails? Yeah, we improved all those cocktails. Or else we went through and found other cocktails. Now today, for our last cocktail, we are going to be walking through one of Don's, I think one of possibly his worst cocktail. I am a huge fan of Don. Don is my guy. Don is my man. But the cocktail is the very first Tiki cocktail. Anybody know what that was called? Nope. 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 It's not the Dr. Funk. His very first cocktail. No? Oh, who said it? What's that? Not the QB Cooler. Not the Test Pilot. No? This is so this is his first drink. This is a man who we know, so listen to how many drinks we know. We don't know this one. It's called the Sumatra Kula. The Sumatra Kula, right? You know why you don't know it? Because it is awful. I love this man so. You can see on my thing. This right here, that is a picture of Don Beach. I love him so much. This is a little picture. My niece drew this. She thought I looked like a Tiki idol, so she drew one of me. Yes. I took it as an insult at first, but now I kind of like it. But this right here, this is Don Beach. I love the man. Not a good drink. Not a good drink. You are not going to be tasting that version. That version will be coming here in a minute. You are going to be tasting a punched up version of that. We took what he did and we just ran it through the ringer. And this is something that you guys can absolutely do. So in the original version, the Jeffrey Beach Bum Bear, we all know Jeff, our man. The recipe that he has in his book is 1.5 ounces of rum. That's not enough rum. That just isn't enough rum. It's 1/2 ounce of grapefruit, 1/2 ounce of orange juice, 1/2 ounce of lime, and 1/2 ounce of honey syrup. Sounds horrible. I mean, it just sounds, when people, you say, you guys have all probably had to explain to your friends at one point, you had to come out of the closet as a Tiki person. You're like, what's that whole half of your closet doing with all those flowers? Don't worry about it. And what's the first thing they always say to you? They say, oh, I don't like Tiki drinks. There's so much juice. Ugh, gross. That is true in this case. That is very, very true. And it has 0 spice. There is no little spice to make it all nice. So we have sort of redone it. We're going to go through a process with you because I want to bring in one extra little bit. But what we have done is, first of all, I would love to hear, can somebody give me the recipe that you're about to receive, right? The Sumatra Kula. It is white rum. We didn't change any of the ingredients. White rum, honey, orange, grapefruit, and lime. Can anybody tell me what percentages we're going to put in there? Right here. So let's start with one of sour. So we got one of sour. So we actually have two sours in there. We have grapefruit and we have lime, right? Yeah. So we're gonna do half and half. That's exactly right. So we're gonna start half and half. So that's one of sweets. Or sorry, one of sour. We're gonna knock out two of sweets. So that would be, yeah, we do an ounce of honey and an ounce of orange juice. That's exactly right. So oranges used to be a little bit more sour. So we used to sort of be able to count those as a citrus. Not anymore. As my barback Kyle will know, he tends my orange trees. They're just a lot sweeter now. So we would count that as a sweet. That might have been some of the issue with the cocktail. We are then going to, of course, add in 3 of the white rum. That's what we're talking about. 3 of the white rum. That is this right guy right over here. Frank, you want to stand up real quick? Frank donated the Koloa today, so let's hear it from Frank. This is our man Frank. We love Frank. I just met him, but I love him. We actually have a dinner plans tonight. Okay, so we have that. We then added one of our 4 of wheat, which just add a lot of ice, right? We add a lot of ice. And then the little spice to make it all nice. Something that I look for when I'm looking into cocktails and cocktail history is patterns. I told you, there is only 6 cocktails. The moment you see a cocktail written, you can say, oh, sorry, there are only 7 cocktails. You can see a cocktail written, you say, okay, I get it. I know what that one is. You can usually look at it at some point when the matrix opens up to you, you can say, that looks horrible. I will not be making that one. Or we will be fixing that one. That is sort of how this works. What I started to notice is in a lot of Don drinks later on, he started putting in a little mixture that was called herb stirrer. Herb stirrer. Anybody know what's for a tiki mug? Yes, there we go. Yeah, herb salt and absinthe. Yeah. Herb is from herb sant. Does anybody know why it's called herb sant? Well, I'll just tell you. We have one more thing to give away. I don't want to give away right now. Herb sant in 1907. They made it illegal for anybody to have absinthe because, of course, the French wine growers, big, huge babies. Wah, wah, wah. We can't win everything. So now we're going to try and spread this rumor that wormwood makes you go crazy. That is insane. That is insane. Stop it. If you drank enough absinthe to make you hallucinate, you would have died 3 days earlier. That is way too much absinthe to get in there. The French wine growers, they threw a whole big fit. They made it illegal. So from 1907 to 2011, it was illegal, which is crazy, right? It's bonkers that you would have that would happen. But anyway, the absinthe makers did a fun little thing. They didn't stop. They didn't stop making it. They just added a little bit of water to it, brought the ABV down, and then they took absinthe and they switched around the letters. Herb sant. All it is an anagram. You just sort of move stuff around. You got herb sant. So now he's using basically weaker absinthe and a bit of the bitters. He puts it together for herb sant, and this becomes more or less Don's signature. So I don't know, I was blown away when I started to realize this, but Don signed his drinks. He signed them in just a couple dashes of this herb sant. But in this drink, his first one, he did not put any of that in. So we put it back in there. That's what we're going to be doing. So to make this drink, 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, little spice, make it all nice. We have, we got the proportions. There's one extra bit that I think a lot of people miss in the spice to make it nice. And that is carbonic acid. Now, this is not a chemistry class. I'm not going to break it down to you because I cannot. I do not understand it. I don't understand how it works. But carbonic acid is when you infuse a drink with carbon dioxide. All right? Anybody ever had a Coca-Cola, let it sit out for a day, and then you sip it the next day, all the bubbles are gone, and it's so sweet? Right? It's like, you're like, oh God, this is why I'm so fat and gross. And yeah, because I'm just literally drinking just sugar water like I'm a hummingbird. And yet I cannot move from this chair. The TV show is too good. So basically that's what it is. So the reason that they carbonate that stuff is because it helps to bring out the flavors, helps to bring out the cola nut that goes into Coca-Cola or Pepsi. That's why when you taste it, it does have a bit of bitters. we carbonated this one. And we did it with one of these guys. It'll be coming out in just a second, but this right here is called a half Cornelius keg. Back in the day when they would drop off soda water to or like Coca-Cola, Sprite, and whatnot, to restaurants, they would drop it off in these things. Now we have those bags with the plastic in them, and they go through the whole thing. These have become obsolete. So what happened? The beer guys got a hold of them, and the beer guys started making all this stuff. And wherever the beer guys go, cocktail guys are following right behind them. It's like the big dog and the little dog. You know, the big beer guys, and then show me what you're doing. So we have a large one in the back. But all this is, I have two long hoses that go into this. We attach carbon to it. The long hoses, we had to do a little modification because I found that if I let them sit in these kegs for too long, they would settle. So the long hoses help to make a vortex. Oh, this is technical, but don't worry about it. But that carbon is going to absolutely help out these drinks. So a lot of times in old-timey punches, we would see things like champagne. Champagne made it in there all the time, and we didn't, why? Why is there always champagne? Why not just regular red wine or white wine? It's because that carbonic acid started to help to even out the whole thing, give it all of its big bitter taste. So these are going to come out. You guys nailed this. Let's hear it for the punch bunch. Thank you, buddy. Let's hear it for the freaking punch bunch. Does Israel come out? So is the main mixologist back there. That dude has made every drink that you have had in here. He is. You should really take him. I'll give him the last half of my thing. He was amazing. So that's what we have in here, guys. We now, instead of just putting in a little spice, there he is. This is Israel, everybody. If you had a drink this week, and it's because this man did it. This is the guy right here. Absolutely. I would give him a bartending kit, but I know he has one, so I've seen it. So that's what we got going on in here. Another great way for you guys to bitter your punches is to, of course, go through and add some soda water. Soda water will absolutely bitter your punches. The problem with it is you got to be worried about this guy, the 402. I have a little thing, and I was going to print them out, but then, come on, what am I, Kinkos? This right here is a great way to sort of build your stuff. This is the stuff that you can do with one of sour. Citrus, just some acid, and some oleosaccharum. I am happy to just send this to whoever wants it. I'll put it up on my Instagram, etc. One of sour, so this is what we're looking for. We're looking for all the citruses, the acid, and oleosaccharum, which is citrus oil. Basically, you put citrus peels, you put them together, and the sugar gets in, it pulls out all of those oils. Oleosaccharum is an old-timey recipe, but it's delicious. Too sweet. There's so many things for sweets. I literally just syrups. That's literally half of the world. It's basically syrup. 3 of strong, any of your stuff. 4 of weak, water, ice, juices, and tea. And then a little spice. We got CO2 down here. We have the Amari. Amari is plural for Amaro. I thought that was kind of fun. And then liqueurs, all that stuff. And the big one, iced tea. Iced tea falls into this little spice very, very nicely. So from here, you guys are able to just sort of hack at and go for it. Now, I have some people here that are watching from home. I want to highlight one of these guys. So this guy right here, this is Shawnee P. Shawnee P watches my show. He's been watching my show for a while. I highly recommend if you're interested in cocktails, this is what he does. Shawnee P, it's Sean.P89. He took my entire class all summer. We did the Summer of Punch, and Shawnee P took what he learned, and he had at it. He went at it. He put in 1 ounce of funky light rum, 1/2 ounce of dark. Okay, so if we see that, we know that that's our 3. That's our 3. So now we know a part is 1/2 ounce. All right, well, here we go. 1/2 ounce of lime. Nailed it. We need 1 full ounce then of our sweetener. He went up here, he made a homemade banana demerara syrup, right? This guy's crazy. I'm saying you gotta watch him. Sean.P89. And then this one threw me off for a second. I thought, well, he's going big in the sweet. But then, of course, pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is a week. And there we go. Vanilla caramel tea. It's not vanilla caramel. It's vanilla caramel tea. Those are his 2 weeks. And, of course, 1 dash of Tiki bitters. He has created his very own cocktail, the Tropical Island Delight. I think that sounds freaking delicious. He claims it does. We can't even tell Sean if it does taste delicious, but he's using the Breezeway rum, the Lion rum. He made it. What he did was took the formula, threw it right in there. So then, of course, I had to throw my weight around. I said all this stuff because I don't know how social media works. So maybe I'll just say what's in my head, and that'll get me stuff. Anyway, 1 of lime, 2 of demerara, 3 rum, 4 pineapple, and a little bitters. Made it all nice. He nailed it. That is sort of the idea from this. So in the future, as you guys are sort of walking through, let's put this back on. As you guys are sort of walking through life, as you guys are going back out into the bars, you're going to see a ton of these recipes. And as soon as the matrix opens up to you, you see the little green dashes and dots. You will see as soon as that cocktail is being made, you will understand exactly how that cocktail is meant to be built. Let's see. I got one more question for you. Anybody that is not sitting right here. There was a strange man that got up from behind the table. It's Kyle. Yeah, good. That's Kyle Tanner. That is a bartending kit for you. Yeah, that is Kyle. Kyle has his very own Instagram as well. You can follow Kyle Helperton. It's his name, Kyle Helperton. He just happens to be helpful, but his name is also Kyle Helperton. We love him. I suppose we could crack this open into some questions. If you guys have any questions about what we've done today, or I could just keep talking. I'm happy to just keep talking. Yes.
What are some cocktails that you turned into a punch before?
Yes, that is a great question. In fact, we took one that. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's also a great question. Good questions all around. The question was, what's a cocktail that we took that wasn't a punch and we turned it into a punch? Now, I am not trying to make an enemy out of anybody. All right. I am a big fan of all of yours. We call me Cush, so that makes us friends. I think that the port light is bad. I don't think that the port light is a great cocktail. I think it's overly sour and a lot of stuff, a lot of lemon, a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, it's one of the only bourbon cocktails that we have in Tiki. But it's very simple. All you have to do is run that right back through the 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak. We made an amazing version of the port light by just following this. Yeah, the port light was, I think, the main one that we were able to sort of figure out there. So we found out that the zombie absolutely follows the stuff. Most of the Tiki drinks, with just even a little tweaking, are able to fit into this. Another thing about it, though, because I know that if we go back out into the world and we say this guy is claiming that the only way to make a Tiki drink is this way, that is, of course, not the case. A lot of drinks do need a tweak here or there. What I wanted to give you guys more than anything for the 1,000 cocktail trick is the basis for which to start. This is where to start. If in the end you say we're using Dominus Benedictine, it's way too much sweet in that, bring that back. Absolutely, find ways to do that. But I think it's important that bartending is no longer thought of as some mythical thing that is passed down upon high from the great mustachio douchebags from the sky. Like I don't want that to be the case anymore, because again, I am atoning for my past sins of rolling my eyes when somebody ordered a vodka cranberry. This is kind of fun. That's my favorite now too. I love a vodka cranberry. One of my very favorite drinks. And you know what's really interesting? It's punch. Vodka cranberry can actually, so we talk about cranberry cocktail, we're talking about sweet, we're talking about sour, and we're talking about just a little bit of the cranberry spice in there. We can technically get into, I mean, if we want to be real, silly about it, we can call it kind of a punch. It's almost there. So you are right to love that drink, and it's my favorite.
Are we circling back to how you fix the port light?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. So basically, the port light is bourbon. It is passion fruit. It is lemon, passion fruit syrup, and grenadine. That's right, and grenadine. Okay. Well, if we talk about passion fruit as our sour, and we're talking about, of course, grenadine as our sweet. We also have a sour there in lemon. If we're making the passion fruit into a syrup, I believe we made it into a syrup, so now it becomes the sweet. So now we can do one of lemon, and instead of having it just be the passion fruit puree, which is what a lot of people will do with that one, we make it into a passion fruit syrup. And now we can have that as a half an ounce. So we basically build it a half an ounce of the lemon, half an ounce grenadine, half an ounce passion fruit syrup, and then an ounce and a half of some bourbon. Perfect. Or a little rye. Spectacular. So really all it is just finding that formula, knocking it out. We'd have to, if you want, that show is up on YouTube. We'll go right here. This is me. YouTube.com @Dr. Cush. All of those shows are up. So the whole summer of punch is up. We can go through it. I have the recipe written underneath it. I forget exactly how we did it because we ended up tweaking it a touch, but we fixed it by running it through the process.
have you ever considered Benedictine as a spice, little spice?
Absolutely. That is a great question. So we talked earlier right here about liqueurs are the only ones that show up in two different places. Liqueurs and Amari will both show up in the strong. They show up in three different places. They'll show up as the sweet, they'll show up as the strong, and they'll show up as the spice. Because a lot of these Amari are, of course, just spices in and of themselves. My favorite drink of all time is just a fat shot of Fernet in the morning. That is my. I'm telling you, I lived the bartender life very, very hardcore. The one thing I didn't get is a single tattoo. I don't know how I escaped that, but I've never seen another bartender that went 20 years without a tattoo. But the liqueurs, absolutely. So Benedictine will absolutely count as a spice. It's going to be up to you the same way that my very good friend and I enjoy a lovely vodka cranberry. If we think about it a little bit, we can almost turn everything. They say when you're carrying a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When you're looking for a punch, you can find a little spice in everything. So, yes, so the liqueurs absolutely count there. You got a question?
I do.
Great.
It's a question about absinthe.
Oh,
Now, I
love
know
that.
in the US,
Yeah.
they kind of dulled it down. to
Sure.
only so much level.
Sure.
Where could you actually get the real absinthe? Because we have
You're talking about like something that's gone through the wormwood, gone through the whole process?
It's a small percentage of the Fusion, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That's allowed in the United States.
Um,
Where you can get real absinthe.
There's a little shop down south called Mexico. I imagine they'll probably have it down there. I just assume, I don't know, I get everything down there. So just this huge shop. I mean, the big outdoor market. Listen, I can't, do you have an answer, sir?
Well, we just did a biking tour. We went from Budapest up into Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
And they have really bad absinthe. And then that whole area. I mean, it's got to be French.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the French are, they're very French about things. So they will absolutely do that. And of course, they're the ones that started this whole fight. So they better have brought the absinthe back because I don't know. To be honest, I don't do a ton with absinthe. I have a little Dasher bottle on the bar, so I don't know a ton about it. But I would assume that France. Yeah, I mean, listen. If you want to go to France, you and I can we can get out there and see what else we can pick up.
So pineapples are starting to get sweeter. So
Yeah.
what point are we saying that pineapple is no longer weak and it's now becoming like sweet?
That is a great question. So the question was, pineapple juice is getting sweeter and sweeter because, of course, we are using canned pineapple and everything. We have a saying on the show: fresh if you can, canned if you can't. So we, of course, would love to use fresh pineapple. Yes, if you are going to repeat a recipe that you see at a bar and it says pineapple, look and see if you see a whole trash can full of those big fat Dole things. See if they're using fresh versus, because fresh pineapple will, of course, always have a little bit of that sourness to it, and the canned stuff, they put that sugar in there in order to preserve it. It needs to be in there. You can't just put fresh pineapple in there. So there's a little bit of preserves in there. You just have to adjust the recipe. Usually just a little bit of soda water and soda water and pineapple into a cocktail that has pineapple, canned pineapple. Fix it right on. Yeah, hit it with that bitter a little bit. Cool. Yes.
Just for the record, lucid absinthe does use the word.
Love that. Let's hear for lucid absinthe, everybody. Yeah, lucid. Lucid absinthe does use the wormwood. I love that. Lucid is super good. All right, guys. Any other questions? I want to let everybody. Oh, sir. Yes.
Yeah, so on the sour,
Yes.
grapefruit kind of used to be there too. Now, like if you get fresh grapefruit, it's almost all ruby red.
Yeah.
It's hard to find white.
So it is hard to find white, and Don loved white grapefruit juice. That was his thing. You know, in Don's mix, it's white grapefruit juice. It's always Don. Yeah. Again, if you can find, I know that Ocean Spray makes an amazing white grapefruit juice. It's basically it's hard to find, and you kind of gotta leverage your house. You gotta mortgage your house to in order to get. It is kind of expensive. So yeah, same kind of thing. Add a touch more of the citrus in there to balance out that sweet, and you should be in a good spot right there. Because you're right. The grapefruit juices, they just vary so wildly.
Where's the last word recipe follow in the 7?
So the last word is interesting. The last word, I would put the last word probably in the daisy category. You're sweetening with a liqueur, with a couple liqueurs, and you're also souring with juice. So that's where I would throw that in there, the last word. Again, this is very theoretical. If you want to get deep into this theory, there's an amazing book called The Cocktail Codex. Again, it's not like a Tiki book. It's written by a buddy of mine named Alex Day. He runs Death & Co. It was the best bars forever. They basically break this thing down into wheels. He and I fight about it because he throws punch into the sour category, and I think punch is its very own thing. So basically, this is hey Alex, if you're watching. I'm teaching a seminar about it, dude. Yes.
What's your sugar to water ratio for your syrup?
Great question. What's my sugar to water ratio for my syrup? So honey, 2-to-1. Simple syrup, always 1-to-1. Always 1-to-1. I understand that a lot of people are going to do the 2-to-1. There's a lot of 3-to-1 people. For me, it's always 1-to-1. It makes it simple. It doesn't, and you're going to find a ton of people. So guys like, he wrote, what's that? No, not him. So what does Martin Kate use? 2-to-1? Sorry, Martin. I mean, listen, Martin and I don't have to be exact. I mean, we're basically exactly like we're twins everywhere else, except in our stuff. No, so for me, I use 1-to-1. That may be that I did not grow up with a Tiki background. He has been a Tiki bartender his whole life. I'm a visitor to this realm, kind of. I started in the deep bartending, and that gave me more control over a cocktail. You're doing 2-to-1, you can mess that up real quick. So yeah, that's my thought. But honey, grenadine, we're all making our own homemade grenadine, I assume, just equal parts passion or pomegranate and sugar. Put them together, give them a big shake. We're now all making our own. It's very, very simple. Please, the Roses Company and I think they tried to sue me twice. I've really been mean to them before. because they put crushed up bugs. You know what? I'm not going to say this. I feel like maybe I've gotten into enough trouble with roses when a company tries to sue you because you said mean things about them. Maybe I should shut up. So I'm sorry, roses. It's very simple. Equal parts passion for equal parts of pomegranate and sugar. Put them together, give them a little shake. You want to make it a little bit nicer. Put a couple dashes of orange flower water and a couple dashes of rose water in there, and you'll have a real, very simple, put a little Ray and Nephew in there to preserve it. Very simple grenadine recipe there. Cool. Or a lot of Ray and Nephew, and you know what? Just make it its own cocktail. I mean, it's basically a punch if we think about it. It's got the sour from those pomegranates. You got the sweet from the sugar, the little spice to make it all nice. Weaken that up. You already have a cocktail. Yes.
Do you use Demerara sugar for your simple?
Of course, 1-to-1. 1-to-1 Demerara. Yes, that Demerara is a godsend. The Demerara. So simple syrup. Always, if you just want to boost up the flavors of the drink, Demerara. If you want the sugar to have a little aria, if you want it to be like the solo artist for a minute, just give it like a little drum solo. That's the Demerara sugar. It's 1-to-1 water to stuff. Anything else? Are we feeling real good? Just real quick, I just want to thank these guys. Right, so this right here, Dougie G, is in the place to be. Dougie G provided all of these great cups for you guys to take. So please take those home. Doug and Melanie, right here. What's that? And Bon. Oh, and Bon. Yeah, I'm sure. Does everybody know Bon? Bon, you just stand up, please, real quick. This is Bon. Bon is to Tiki Oasis what Snoop Dogg is to the Olympics. She's there, everybody kind of knows her. It's like, we can't have this thing without her. Bon is just the greatest. We need some sort of sash for her. We'll get one for her next year. But they brought those glasses. So please take those home. If you're not going to take them home, leave them there and I will take them because I really like them. They have my face on them and I'm really kind of proud of that. Beyond that, any other questions? We feel good. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice to make it all nice. Get in, go to these tiki bars, read those menus, go back home and find out if you are able to deconstruct and put these cocktails back. You will be very, very close every single time if you just follow the Planter's Punch. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice to make it all nice. Thank you very much, guys. This was so wonderful. I've been nervous about this for forever. I think I'm gonna take a nap or something. I feel like it's time to I need a shot or something. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh, good. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. I thought about it. I think we should. Yeah. Yeah. No, I gotta write him. I feel like it's important that because we're neighbors. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Of course, man. We give you a big enough shout out. Oh, thank you, everybody, for showing up. We're going to end the stream now. Until next time.